it's getting spooky for Kathy Engelbert in the house right now.
We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world. But do you know who I haven't heard from? Kathy. Not one call, not one text. Instead, the only outreach has come from her number 2 telling my agent that she doesn't believe physical play is contributing to injuries. This year alone, I've gotten calls, texts, and well wishes from so many players across the league. Those moments remind me that sometimes there are things bigger than the results than this game we play.
What happens when one of the WNBA's biggest stars confronts the commissioner head-on? Napheesa Collier didn't just question Cathy Engelbert's leadership.
Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage.
She hit her with a precise, calculated critique that has the entire media world buzzing. But here's the real twist. Stephen A. Smith immediately called for Engelbert's resignation. Why would a player speak out so publicly, and why did the response spread like wildfire across ESPN, FS1, and beyond?
Stephen A. Smith.
I want to see her. Cathy Engelbert, the commissioner of the league. That was an attack against your leadership. It was an attack against your integrity. Let me say for the record, you should resign. You need to resign.
Stick with me because this promo might be the turning point that rewrites the league's future. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video.
The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is a lack of accountability from our leaders. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games.
Why would people compare a WNBA star's press conference statement to a wrestling promo? That's the question a lot of fans asked when Napheesa Collier sat down, pulled out a typed sheet of paper, and calmly started going after the league's leadership.
Napheesa Collier came out. She very conducted herself very professionally.
They ignore the issues that everyone inside the game is begging to be fixed. That is negligence.
Had her thoughts on a piece of paper, and she went all in.
Coaches, both winning and losing, pointed out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way.
It wasn't a rant. It wasn't shouting at a microphone. It wasn't heat of the moment frustration. This was prepped. It was rehearsed. And that's exactly why so many people instantly made the connection to CM Punk's famous pipe bomb promo from the WWE.
That he dropped in a promo 10 years ago on the wrestling industry where he scorched everyone in what I have coined the WNBA version of CM Punk's pipe bomb.
That promo wasn't remembered because of yelling. It was remembered because it was controlled, sharp, and it hit with precision. Collier clearly knew the impact of approaching it the same way. The way she carried herself in that moment said everything.
At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Kathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything.
She didn't come in casually answering questions and then fire off a side comment. She made it clear from the second she pulled out her statement that this was intentional. That's the part that caught everyone's attention first, the seriousness of it. Normally, players might let emotions pour out after a tough game or deliver a comment when a reporter digs for a reaction. She bypassed all of that. She walked in with a message, one that she wanted delivered without interruption.
I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs.
And it immediately got treated as something completely different from the usual post-game chatter. And here's what made it sting: restraint. By staying calm, by refusing to let frustration spill into her tone, she made every word heavier. If she had shouted, people could have dismissed it as venting. Instead, her words landed like one of those wrestling finishers, the kind where the opponent doesn't even get back up. Writers compared it to a lariat clothesline from hell, not because she was loud, but because she was so precise. Every line she read left no way for the commissioner or the league to duck out of the criticism. What she actually said also made it different. She wasn't tearing down Cathy Engelbert as a person. She was calling out the way Engelbert manages the league, the lack of connection with players, and the overall direction of leadership. That difference matters so much because instead of making it about emotions or grudges, it made it about structure. It was a leadership critique, not gossip. That type of framing carries power because it gives legitimacy. When a player points to the system itself and not the personalities, the message sounds more professional, and it resonates far deeper with teammates, fans, and commentators.
Now reach levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating.
And the timing of this couldn't have been more sensitive. The WNBA is enjoying maybe its biggest spike in popularity since the league began. Stars like Caitlin Clark have helped drag huge new audiences into the sport. Viewership numbers are climbing, merch is selling, and the league is on a growth curve it hasn't seen in years. But here's the key. That kind of momentum only stays steady if the leadership keeps it stable. And with a looming CBA negotiation hanging in the background, the last thing the WNBA needed was its own players saying the leadership can't be trusted to guide the direction. Collier swung her shot at the exact moment when stability mattered the most, which is why it rattled so many corners of the basketball world. That shockwave explains why ESPN jumped on the story, why Fox picked it apart on debate shows, and why Barstool's entire brand wanted to amplify it.
Stephen A. Smith, Dave Portnoy, this morning, both ESPN, Fox Sports 1, talking about this situation going on in the league right now. Barstool Sports morning show that's now on Fox. ESPN First Take.
In today's media cycle, athlete quotes can disappear within a few hours. Collier's statement did the opposite. It gained steam every hour. Her professional tone basically forced analysts to treat it like a serious press release. That's the difference. Because she wasn't emotional, the outlets couldn't frame it as frustration or bad attitude. They had to frame it as a direct challenge to how Engelbert is doing her job. In short, she left no wiggle room for interpretation. That's why her words didn't just go viral once. They kept circling back because players, fans, and commentators all started referencing them. When somebody sets the conversation that firmly, it becomes the default talking point going forward. Collier had taken control of the narrative with one prepared sheet of paper. And as big as that was, the story didn't just stay about her. The controlled fire she lit ended up fueling the loudest commentator in sports media to take the next step. Stephen A. Smith didn't just echo her thoughts. He went straight for the commissioner's chair. Collier's statement showed players aren't just shaping games. They're shaping the league itself. That's the bigger story here. Athletes are forcing the leadership to answer directly, and it proves their voices now carry real weight. Some commentators even said it would be an upgrade if Adam Silver stepped in to run the WNBA.
And I literally said yesterday, maybe Adam Silver should just take over the WNBA. You know how bad leadership has to be when Adam bleeping Silver is your mother effing upgrade? And I can't believe I said it, and I can't believe it's actually an upgrade if he did.
That tells you how deep the frustration is with Engelbert right now. But what do you think? Can she survive the upcoming CBA talks, or is change coming fast? And with names like Caitlin Clark rising, will new stars demand a commissioner who actually connects,